Know what I'm saying? You had to be in shape. Cause you had to get the wrist. I don't even want to do the motion, but
Right,
you
right.
know what I'm saying. You had to get the pump action
Mm-hmm.
going on. Whether and the 50 was the greatest gun because the greatest water gun, excuse me, because it was light, but it packed enough to where you could soak a person. Like you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
The
yes.
100 was bigger. It was the blue one, and then I think the 4,000 was they skipped some thousands and they went to the backpack joint. Now they still make them, believe it or not. But what happened was Nerf bought the
Bought
rights,
Super Soaker.
and it's trash. I have them. I don't. They're
See,
buried in the woods somewhere.
Nerf needs to stick with the
To the
with the
Nerfs,
arrow
yeah.
stuff,
To
right?
the
Not get away from the football
styrofoam.
too. Leave football alone too. Like let's be honest, y'all. The Nerf football, the best one they ever came out with was the one that screamed, and that was because we thought we could throw it 70 yards. Remember that one when it
Yeah.
first came out with
Oh
the little
yeah.
streamers in it and the little
Yeah.
twirling
No, but
joint?
it did make a nice noise though. It did have a
It did,
nice noise.
yo. But so in the hood because we couldn't play catch because I mean we couldn't play football like there was no field, so we played in the middle of the street when like after hours, bro. That of sound was like an alarm. Like everybody came outside to play catch. It would be five
Hmm.
people on one side, five people on the other, and you in here come the wind now, right? I'm sorry about that, but you in the house, and all of a sudden you hear the
Hmm.
right, you just hear that joint screaming, everybody, oh, it's time to go play catch. Like it was an alarm, bro. Like this is the stuff that the children will never know about. They won't understand like what we went through. Like you said, having to be in shape. We walk around with 3 gallons of water on our back to
Yeah.
waste.
Yeah.
To waste, like to shoot at somebody. We running with it, we trying to hide with it and everything. Like it's just stuff that they won't get. These water guns are dope. Don't get me wrong. And for my kids' short attention spans, it actually works well. We fill it up. And my one daughter don't get through a half of one. She like, all right, daddy, I don't want to play with no more. It's hot. Like,
Ah. Now,
you know what I
kids,
mean?
kids, kids are different though. Now,
Mm-hmm.
like we had no choice but to stick it out in the heat. See, these kids don't even know what hot is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
I remember 117-degree weather and having to be
Mm.
outside and because
Go
we couldn't go in
outside.
the house. You know what I'm saying? Like
Because mom and dad didn't want the door open and closed. You can go outside, but don't come back in no time soon.
yeah, like I remember my grandmother. I remember my grandma. I remember a story. My grandma, yo, rest in peace. I
Mm.
remember her saying it was so hot, like so she didn't want us in the house. Like if we were in the house, we couldn't watch TV because it was too hot to watch television. Now hold up, my
It's
grandma,
true though.
yo,
I get
la,
it. I get it.
my grandmother saw stuff like she was God in the women form, right? So check this out. So I'll be like, what? Like she said that the cable box would melt. Like that was one of her
Oh
things.
wait.
Now hold up. And so right now this didn't happen, but
Oh
the
my
one
god.
time it was like 100 and like maybe 110, 115 degrees, and then the skies got black, which means it was about to
Mm.
thunderstorm and
Mm-hmm.
lightning. It's
Mm-hmm.
about the lightning storm and thunder, right? Like usually
And
that's
it's
what
gonna be a
happens.
heavy rain too when it goes from that hot to
Oh yeah, because it go
thunderstorm.
from hot to the black. Yo, why did it lightning and it fried the cable box?
Shut up. See? Did y'all get blamed for it? I told y'all I'd be having my cable.
Not only did we get blamed for it,
Yep.
I had to go out
Mm.
there and get a switch. And
Oh.
yeah, man, see, grandma, that's why you love grandma, right? Because grandma was the coolest person, but just like that thunder black storm came out of nowhere, she quickly could change from cool to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I should
Author,
have just not watched
author,
TV. That's
what's the word? Authoritarian?
authoritarian, yeah,
Is that the word?
authoritative or whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's the
Hmm.
one. That's what they turn to, though. That's what
Hmm.
they turn into. Nana,
And
love you,
it's like
grandma, and then
she reminds you that she whipped my mama's behind back in the day, like that,
right.
like and,
What
and like
makes you think you won't get it?
love my grandmother, bro, for sure. Should have
Rest
just
in
not
peace to
watched TV
grandmas
though.
out there.
Like how
Yeah,
she knew
yeah,
it was gonna
nah.
storm. It was that
Right.
hot. Like, so technically, everything she said really came. It really happened. Instead of it melting, it fried, which
They
essentially it
fried
melted.
it. Yeah, which is yep. That's crazy. Yo, you got blamed for a lightning strike, bro. I got in trouble for a lot of crazy stuff in my life. I
Lightning
ain't never
strike.
have Like I ain't never have God strike something with a bolt of lightning and I got blamed for it.
When
That's
I tell you
different,
God
bro.
had my grandmother back, bro. I should have told that story at the funeral, bro. They would have been cracking up. When no, listen, that was one God fearing woman, bro. Cause
Hmm.
whatever she asked God to do, He did it, man. I wish she would have could have asked him to give me a couple $1 million, but
Oh
other than
man.
yeah,
But
man,
see, that's the thing though. If the more religious they are, they believe that the wealth ain't where the
that's
riches
true.
come
It's not
from.
this. It's
You know
not
what I
right.
mean?
That's true. That's
It,
true. It's not even
I
about
never I never
wealth.
saw
Isn't
my I
in
saw
money. Like you know what I mean?
right.
Yeah,
I saw
wealth
my
is in
grandma pray for a
family.
lot of people, a lot of things. I saw my grandma pray and put a hit out on a mouse that was in her closet eating up her crackers. And the bastard died, bro. Like grandma put a holy hit out on a mouse. I wish I was lying to you, bro, but I never saw my grandma pray for money. I never saw my grandma pray about money.
Yeah,
Ever. Not one time my whole life, bro. That's
yeah,
incredible. Like just to reflect on that. Anyway, all right. Let's get to football, man. Shout out to the grandmas out there, man. Hopefully, we can leave some lasting impressions like that on our children and grandchildren,
for
the way that they
sure.
left on us, man. Because that's fire right there. I love when we get off track and do stuff like that. So look,
I got to
the
get off track again because you wearing a fucking Christmas shirt in July.
it's not a Christmas shirt. It say what it say?
Just waiting for.
Christmas. It said I'm waiting for Christmas. It's not. It don't say Merry
It
Christmas.
doesn't have to say Merry Christmas for it to be a Christmas shirt, bro. If it got Christmas on it, it's Christmas.
Is it backwards?
No,
Like you can read that the right way, or is it
I
backwards?
did. I just couldn't see the bottom.
Oh, because on my screen, I'm looking at the TV and or the screen, and it's backwards on my chest. So I was
Yeah,
gonna
you
flip it if
probably
I
got to
needed to.
hit mirror image, but I can see it.
But
We
no,
see
if
it.
you see it the right way, then it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, bro. So the Grinch is one of my favorite characters. Like the Grinch, Tasmanian Devil, but the hip hop versions of the Taz and Bugs Bunny. Like when they did that, when they showed them with the hats and the jeans and all that, like that's like some of my favorite branding stuff. And I don't care if it's independent or if it's like I don't even know who owns the Grinch. Like is that a NBC? Is that Disney? I don't even know. Is it Warner
Um,
Brothers? I have no idea
the
who owns
Grinch
the
was
Grinch.
Dr. Seuss.
Yes, but who got the TV rights and the merchandise rights
A
for it? Is
lot
it
of
like
people
what
got the
company?
TV rights and the merchandise rights, right? Because the
Yeah.
Disney got their version, but that means they got to use the Jim Carrey stuff.
Disney did that was by Disney.
I thought that was, and that might not have been by Disney. I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
Honestly, I have, but that's kind of my point. I don't know. So if I just see a nice like Grinch style shirt, especially one that says like I know it's not Christmas, you know what I mean? Like I got another one that says it's the Grinch, and
Hmm.
it's the Dr. Seuss version, and it says I'm always in season. Like
Mm.
it's just I go out of my way to find them so I can wear it year round. I don't want to just be in the box for that. Now since we talking about what people
So
wearing,
Dr.
what
Seuss,
kind?
they still own the right. So whoever uses the Grinch, they kicking off a big, nice chunk.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's dope. Look at you with the R&D over there, the research and development happening like live time. That's what I'm talking about, bro. See, now that's what it is. That's what it's hitting for. So shout out to Dr. Seuss and his family and the estate. Uh, I
Dr.
happily
Seuss
contribute.
Enterprises.
There you go. There you go. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Is that Dr. Seuss? I
Sound
think
like
that
it.
is.
Got a bunch of
I
color
think so.
fish.
Yeah. So, yo, what kind of hat you wearing, real quick? And then we're gonna jump in this Darren Waller news because it got me to thinking.
This is the Slimebo hat. So this was Debo's line from Residency.
Oh, okay.
They may
Okay.
be on
I
sale,
knew.
so if you still want to get the joints, use my promo code.
So,
They probably on sale, but he's still gonna have his line there. It's just gonna
yeah,
be
I'm about to say they'll come out with different color
these
schemes
different
now. They're
colors
gonna do the
segue.
maroon, the
Yeah,
gold,
yeah,
like the Washington colors.
yeah.
All right. So Darren Waller decides to come out of retirement and he gets traded from the Giants to the Dolphins. And the Dolphins just traded Jonnu Smith and
Jalen Ramsey.
Ramsey to the Steelers for Minka Fitzpatrick, right? So there's all this movement
And a
going around,
pick.
all these and the sixth round pick, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so all this movement going on and everything, it got me to thinking, right? And I don't know if you saw the graphic for today's episode. I'm just going to ask you straight up, and then we'll dive into a little bit more. But would you trade Nick Bosa for T.J. Watt?
No.
Okay, now that you can choose to go into that more if you want to elaborate. But I also want to know if you've been
Well, it's scheme fit,
disappointed
right? Because now
with
you're going from 4-3 to 3-4. We're built for 4-3. Nick Bosa is that. T.J. Watt's an off-ball linebacker. It would change things up a little bit. Like, can he get to the quarterback? Yeah, but not in.
You
To
don't think
me,
Salah could make TJ Watt work here
I'm
as
not
far as
saying I don't
pass
think he
rusher
can make
goes?
it work, but don't you think it'd be a little bit? He would be he would be kind of like that Leonard Floyd type size, kind of, because he's not big. He's not a hefty edge setter. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
we already got
All right.
Bryce Huff, and I feel like that's his role. So you would have two Bryce
Okay.
Huffs, Huffs.
Now, have you been? I'm sure you have been, but like, express to me your level of disappointment in Nick Bosa's game, or maybe you just are one of the people that have a lot of excuses for him, saying it's not him. The whole defense is bad, and
Nah, look. After Nick Bosa signed that contract, man, his level of see, a lot of people. There are two types of people. There are two types. Excuse me. There are two types of edge rushers. Okay. There's your disruptive edge rushers, and there's your
talk to him.
finishing. And there's your finishing edge
Mm,
rushers.
mm-hmm,
And we've got glimpses of both versions from Nick Bosa. And
mm-hmm.
after that season where he ended up being defensive player of the year, where he had what he had how many sacks? 19 and a
I
half,
think
I
it was like
believe.
19 and a half that season, yeah. But he had something
So
crazy like 22 and a half tackles for loss. Like he was a monster at and behind the line of scrimmage in the run game and everything.
so you would say he was more of a finishing guy, correct?
He was an all-purpose edge player, bro.
Okay.
Like run game,
Yeah. So
pass rush, like
so forgive me for expecting that. Because when I look
mm,
at the premier pass rushers in the NFL, why is it that the only one that struggles consistency is Nick Bosa?
mm,
So here,
Can I drop a bomb on that? Can I? Can
yeah,
I?
for sure, for sure. And people are not gonna like it, but I don't really give a fuck at the end of the day. And I don't care if he had 10 and a half sacks the year he signed his contract. That's not the standard for me. Nick,
It's far from it.
far from what Nick Bosa. I'm not saying I'm looking for 19 and a half every year, but he barely got those 10 and a half sacks. He started the season off mad slow, and for some reason, it just seems like, you could blame the defense, you could blame the coordinating, you could blame all that. That's cool. But even he took blame himself. So where am I wrong here for saying that he
Right.
fell off?
For sure. I mean, I think he acknowledges that as well. And then the couple of snippets that we've heard from him this offseason, he talks about getting back to the basics, right? Like, so I think he knows that there's something that's missing. But, my biggest issue with Nick Bosa, I've never been a guy that cared too much about sack production as long as you were disruptive and you, like, cause some
See,
timing.
I'm different than you. We always have that argument,
Mhm.
right?
No, we do.
Disagreement,
For
I
sure.
mean, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm more about the finishing the plays. You could be disruptive all you want. Quarterback scrambles, get the pass off. Now it go from 3rd and 18
hmm
to first down.
Right. No, but so and again, so this is what there was one key game that made me view Nick Bosa in a completely different light, and I don't think he had a single sack, and he might have had a half a sack, but it was the Niners against, I believe it was the Saints.
Okay. I mean,
I
some
believe it
games
was
you could.
Niners Saints. Did he play against Drew Brees? He
No,
played against Drew Brees before, didn't he?
but did they have his rookie year? Maybe his rookie year.
Okay, I think that might have been the game,
Wasn't that the
and
shootout?
he was
Breeze versus
that was the
Garoppolo.
yes, and that was the George Kittle fourth. Okay, so if you go back and you watch that game, right? I don't think Nick Bosa had any sacks in that game. However, he was so damn disruptive. Drew Brees couldn't get anything going, bro. Like absolutely nothing. And so this is kind of my point, right? Like that made me appreciate him as a run stopper. They couldn't run the ball to his side of the field. They couldn't dare pass because he was disrupting everything. They had to start moving Drew Brees, and he was entering the noodle arm era of his
Yeah,
career.
but how many sacks did he miss out on?
I don't know if
See,
he missed any. Drew, no,
That-
no,
th-
none,
we
none.
don't
And
we
I'm gonna
don't
tell you
don't
why.
say none. Don't say none
I'm gonna
because
tell
we
you why it's none.
go
Drew
ahead.
Brees was forced to get rid of the ball quickly. That's
Yeah, but
why.
we still don't know. He didn't get rid of the ball quickly on every game. We don't. We got to go back and watch and say, "Oh man, he could have had a sack here."
If
Oh man, so we got to go back and literally rewatch
this
it.
this will be a fun exercise because I'm willing to bet you that Drew Brees didn't escape his grasp one time. Like it's not like Drew Brees got away and shook him off, or Drew Brees stepped up in the pocket and Nick Bosa got pushed around him, and nothing like that. Bosa was getting there, and Brees was just getting rid of the ball because he knew Bosa was there. I don't count that as missing out on a sack. That's just
I don't count that as missing. I told you that I'm not counting that missing out on a sack. I'm just saying there might have been opportunities where he didn't finish the play. What's wrong with that?
how could you finish the play if the ball ain't there though? That's what
How?
I don't.
But what if there was a play where the ball was there and he missed out on the opportunity to finish in the play? That's my point.
That's what I'm saying. I don't recall that. I don't recall that happening in that game. Like
That
he
game was
played like a man
45
on
to
fire.
31, or 45 to 41 or something like that. We won by 3 points. So at the end of the day, it was a big shootout. Both
Did he have
defenses.
sacks in that game?
Say that again.
Did he have any sacks in that game?
I could look it up.
That's pulled up. Oh, I thought you had it pulled up. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, off the top of the dome, like that game literally was a shootout, and it came
Yes, it
down
was.
to Jimmy Garoppolo versus on that fourth down, converting that play because George Kittle willed himself.
Which, by the way, what a terrible play.
That was bad. It's 48 to 46. My bad. That was the score, 48 to 46. And the Saints were
Jesus.
good that year, bro. They finished fucking 10-3.
13-3.
10-3. That at that time they were 10-3.
When we faced them.
Yeah. Woo!
Yeah.
What a game! Freaking Thomas. Oh man!
But
Listen,
our defense, if you go back and look at these names, you're gonna be like, all right, I see why we couldn't stop them. You got to remember that this was the hottest offense in the NFL. The Saints, not ours.
for sure. But at the end of the day, bro, our defense was hot. You can't say that our defense wasn't hot. We was mauling cats. We weren't giving up a lot of points.
I don't think our defense was.
Yes, it was, bro. That was the year, Nick Bosa rookie year. You had D Ford that year. You had freaking Eric Armstead. You had DeForest Buckner in the middle. Our defense wasn't a slouch, bro. Jimmy Ward, Richard Sherman, Mosley. Greenlaw has seven tackles. Greenlaw. Jimmy Ward had 8 tackles this game. Nick Bosa had 8, and he had a tackle for a loss in this game.
Mm-hmm.
He had a tackle for a loss.
Did he have any sacks though?
No, he didn't have any sacks. There was no sacks. Period.
Right. So that's kind of my thing. Like Drew Brees was refusing to let us sack him. Like there was nothing that anybody on the defensive line, because he was just getting rid of him. You're not getting a sack on me, bro.
For sure.
Like
I'm not
that's what
saying that didn't happen. I'm just saying, what if there was?
And he ate that secondary up.
He
It was
ate
all
our
dink and
secondary
dunk.
up. Yeah.
Yes,
We ate their secondary up too.
For
I mean,
sure.
Jimmy Garoppolo. Listen, this is how identical this was. Right?
Come on.
Jimmy Garoppolo is
I'm about to go
the
watch this game.
only quarterback with a boo-boo in this game too, by the way.
2 picks.
All right. He had 1 interception. But Jimmy Garoppolo, 26 for 35, 349 yards, 4 touchdowns, and interception. He was sacked 3 times. Drew Brees, 29 for 40, 349 yards, 8.7 average. Jimmy Garoppolo was a 10 average. Brees had 5 touchdowns. He wasn't sacked once.
That boy was cooking. He was cooking. But I say all
and
that.
Emmanuel Sanders went off this game.
Yeah.
Kendrick Bourne had 2 TDs this game.
That's right. This is the year we traded. Was this the year we traded for Sanders?
Yes. We got him a little bit earlier.
God,
Yep.
we got him like 4 or 5 weeks before this against the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
The Panthers was his first game.
Michael Thomas Cook too on their side.
So here's kind of what I'm saying, right? And this is all gonna circle back and with me agreeing with you. Watch this, right? Because you said, "Who am I to expect more from Nick Bosa?" Like, sorry, but you set the bar, right?
Yeah.
So
sorry.
I'm the person that I can watch a game like this game that we talk about with no sacks in it and say Nick Bosa's a good pass rusher and he's a good defensive end because they couldn't run the ball his way and he was all over Drew Brees that game, even though he didn't get any sacks. And I can comfortably say,
For sure.
I don't care about the sacks. But to your point, he ain't even been doing what he did in this game in the last 2 seasons. He hasn't even been good against the run. But he hasn't even been applying pressure to the quarterbacks. Like he is completely washed out of games.
Well, I think part of, like, you can probably say this is an excuse, but part of it is them game planning toward Nick Bosa. So they're running at him with double blocks and they know, like, you know what I'm saying, that you take care of Nick Bosa, that defensive front is weak. They know that.
For sure.
Part of that is definitely that, but I guess what I'm saying though, Mike, from a person like Nick Bosa, how are you countering the counters? Because if you're that great, then you find a way to be better. Now, what I'm asking this,
See,
what I, my question to you is, why is it that there's consistency from T.J. Watt,
come on,
Miles Garrett,
come
Micah
on,
Parsons? Now we talk
come
about the
on.
edge
We
rushers.
talking about growth. We talking about premier. We talking about top of the top, the creme de la creme. Huh? You a food critic? I don't even know what that means, but I'm sure you do. But we talking about them dudes, the dogs at their positions.
I'm just
Guys
trying
who
to.
continue to get better and better every year.
I mean, are they not being targeted like Bosa to where they can continue to go off? You mean to tell me you're not chip blocking Miles Garrett? That
Right?
dude's a
Because they
monster.
definitely are. Because they definitely are. They definitely are. And that's kind of what my issue is. It's like, and this is why I say that players come here on this defensive line and they are finished products and they don't get better. I don't see anybody improve since Chris Kosiric got here. I don't see it. And then people think I'm a hater, bro. And I swear to y'all, I'm not hating, bro. I swear I'm not hating. What I don't like is that we just don't get better. They don't get better. Nick Bosa was good. This was his rookie year. This was rookie year. And he had a solid season this rookie year.
He did.
And
He
this,
did.
and then the year after that was when he had the defensive player of the year, right? Like it was the following year.
No,
I'm pretty sure that was the year. Or no,
because he
this
got
was his
hurt.
sophomore year.
Yeah, he got hurt his sophomore year, so he couldn't have got defensive player that year. He got it
He
in
got the
20
19 and a half sacks with or without D Ford.
Without.
Because he only played with Ford 1 year.
Right, 2019 is rookie year.
Because Ford was here, but he wasn't here. You know.
No. You're right. That's what I'm saying. Like, all right, so he had 9 sacks his rookie year. He had 0 2021. 2022 is when he got defensive player of the year with the 18 and a half sacks. So it wasn't 19. So you get what I'm saying? So like, so 2020 he got the ACL injury. Remember he got hurt in the New York game.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And then 2021 was the year he came back, but he came back and set the bar. So you mean to tell me, hold up, that in 2021,
after nobody knew how he was going to play, come on, talk. I know where you. Come on, let's go. You about to get me hype out here.
That this cat played first coming off of an ACL injury in all 17 games. You get me? He played in all 17 games. He had 52 total tackles, like a 15 and a half sacks, 4 forced fumbles. That's the bar. Like, rookie year, get your feet wet.
Coming off a bad leg, bro.
Coming off of a bad knee? Bruh. 15 and a half? I'm like, oh, shit. We got something here. Bro. Like, you get what I'm saying?
19 and a half was, I'm sorry, the 19 and a half was Alden Smith.
Alden Smith. Right. He was 1 from breaking the record. So forgive us. He was 2 from breaking the record, excuse me. He was 1 from tying it. So help me understand this. Okay? So 2022, that's the all-pro player of the year, 18 and a half sacks, 2 forced fumbles that year. Bang, 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 bang. 2023, that's when he got his contract. Started the season off slow. Tackles increased. Sacks was still double digits, so 10 and a half, but I'm looking for nothing less than 12 at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? 12 bro. And above.
Come on,
because
man. It's like, let's be honest. Kerry Hyder can get you 10 sacks.
But Mike, it went from 15 to 18 and a half, so me even saying 12 is bad. Like, you get what I'm saying? If anything, it should increase by 2 or 3.
Come on, you regressing, bro.
Wait. I'm not finished.
Okay.
In 2024, back to 9. So that's a regression, right? So did Nick Bosa reach his peak in 2022, and is he slowly declining, regressing? That's the question.
And see, that's the thing. I don't know, man. Like, I love homegrown talent, and I'm not giving up on Nick Bosa. I don't want nobody.
Oh, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
But I would be lying y'all if I said there wasn't some players I would trade for right now. Like,
I'm not
okay. Would you trade for Myles Garrett?
Absolutely. For Nick Bosa, for Myles Garrett? Yeah, they're just different monsters.
If they took that, right, because they would get the cap relief, we wouldn't. Would you give up Nick Bosa and the first round pick to get Myles Garrett?
Hell no.
On that cap space?
No.
Why not? You think Nick Bosa worth that much? You got to give up
Um,
something else. They got the best
you
pass
don't
rush
got
in
to
the league.
give up
What
a
you giving
first
up?
round pick though. I don't think you got to give up a first.
What you think a
We're talking
realistic
two
one is?
first round pickers, and we're talking two defensive all pros. That's pretty much think straight up, straight up. Now to relieve some of our cap space, maybe a third
You think Cleveland's entertaining that phone call? Nick Bosa in the third for Miles
for
Garrett.
Miles Garrett to relieve their cap space. Hell yeah! I
They
mean, they
just
still
signed a deal. They expected they come on. See, this is what we do. We do this as fans, and we don't. They don't have no quarterback over there. They not.
doesn't.
They not. They not. They
So
not
then,
strapped for cash,
so
bro. And they
if they
just
don't have a
signed this deal.
quarterback, then they wouldn't do the trade, then Mike. But we're just talking about we're entertaining the player position, right?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't necessarily be falling off. They're still going to get a higher productive player. Maybe their coach will coach Nick Bosa differently.
I
And
bet he
Miles
would.
Garrett might be weak in San Francisco because of coaching. We
Because Kosiric ain't gonna bring nothing else new out of him.
no. It's like Miles
Mm.
go be Garrett, and
Yeah. Go be Garrett.
you know
I
what I'm
like that.
saying.
Yeah. But that's what it is. Like, and that's what I'm. That's see. And I don't.
So
That's why I said I haven't
this
given up
might
on Nick
not be
Bosa.
about Nick
I
Bosa.
want.
This might be about Chris
Bingo.
Kosiric.
I want the Niners to make a change to the defensive line position. I'm going to keep saying this until he is gone, bro.
But
Until I
see,
see
I
something.
feel like Kosiric declined after Salah left. And so now I'm kind of and you know what? I can't even say he
Oh, wait.
declined.
Hold
I
up.
can't wait. I can't even say that Chris Kosiric declined after Salah left because Nick Bosa had his best season under D'Amico Ryans. So I can't say he declined. I can't say with
Hold
what
up
he's
now.
given, maybe it's too strenuous on Nick
But
Bosa. Maybe
we saw some changes though.
we did see some changes.
We saw the defense start to get a little bit more exotic with some of the pressures they were throwing that
They had
allowed
to
Nick Bosa to do but that's what allowed Nick Bosa
to
to do
free
the
up.
things that he was doing. Yeah. Like now all of a sudden you showing that nickel
We
blitz.
saw stunts,
All of a sudden you showing the stunts, you showing the safety blitzes coming down, right? Like whether we ran them or
which
not,
is
they
which is
showed them, which
part of the progression, right? As a rookie, you're gonna have him do what he does best, and as you continue to get better or understand the concepts and the nuances of the position of what you're asked to do, because what's Nick Bosa's number one job?
which is at the edge.
Set the edge. So stop the
It's
run.
always a number one job. Yep.
Correct.
It's always
Well,
a number one job.
depending on if it's in 3-4 or 4-3. See, that's so when you're talking about Michael Parsons, you're talking about TJ Watt, you're talking about those guys, they're playing off ball, man. Like they get to read and react. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they edge setting is secondary for them. Their
And
job
because
is
it's not wide 9 for them,
because it's
right?
not wide 9.
Come on, man. This inside outside shit is killing us, bro. It's an extra step or two that we don't have to take.
Is so now looking at the way we attack the draft and free agency, is the wide 9 going to be back to its form? That's the question we could leave everybody with.
I like it, man. I like it, Wayne, man. I want to thank you for joining me today, bro. I really, really appreciate it. I don't know what you got planned the rest of the week, but I'll be here. I got
Okay.
cameras, as you can see. I got all, well, you can't see. I got all the equipment here, though, bro. I brought it all with me, man. Now, the last time I came down to South Carolina, I don't know if you remember, I left all my equipment, had to make an
You
emergency
did.
trip all the way back out.
Yo, you drove all the way
Yeah,
back.
I
You
did.
left your PlayStation. They could have just mailed it.
No, I'm at my pop's house. He don't live here. This is his retirement home. They bought the house in a new development. He's still working in Jersey.
Oh
Pop and
wow.
my stepmom, they still work in Jersey. So they don't live here like
So
that.
nobody's there.
No. Like that's why they was like, and Mikey, whenever you want to go down, just go down. Like, hey
I
man,
would
like
have
we can come
I would have hated myself to have to make that drive.
Bro, it was
Just
a
to go
long
get my
drive
stuff.
too. Like I thought about like, hey, how much do they trust the neighbors? Like, can I convince them to give the neighbors the so they got one of the doors that like with the pad that you could put the code in.
Yeah, me too.
Like one of them electronic joints, they got that here. And I was like, do they trust them enough that I could pay the neighbor to go in and get my stuff? But then now I'm leaving them vulnerable. I couldn't ask them to do that. And they
Right.
just got the house. Like you know what I mean? Like, nah, I'm just gonna make that trip back. So me and a couple of my buddies, we drove down here. We met up. Oh, I should hit my man up. We met up with one of my guys that lived down here. He retired and moved down here. Let me hit Cecil up now that I'm thinking about it. Look at just Wayne, man, you always bring the best out of me, bro. You always bring the best out of me. I need to hit Cecil up now and see what he's doing, man. Go spend the day with him. Have a cigar or two with my man, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Yeah, we'll definitely try to link
Mm,
up. It's 4th of July weekend, so
it
um,
is.
I didn't have to work tonight, so that's good. So I don't go back to work probably.
Also, I want to say this real quick, and I want to make sure you show this. I ain't gonna call him my nephew. Some people take that too personal, but tell Rome I said happy birthday, man. I
Yeah,
saw the post the other day. Let my man know I said happy birthday, Rome. We love you, man. From all
yeah.
of us here on Nothing But Niners, man. We hope you enjoyed your birthday. I saw some of those presents, man. You was smiling, man. It looked like you was
Yeah.
happy. So happy birthday to little man Rome, man. Little
Thank
Rome
you.
Breezy over there.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it, man. And everybody out there, man, faithful, get ready, man. We got some 49er stuff that's about to be dropping soon. It's so good because we get that first week of the rookies getting acclimated, getting their feet wet. Because once training camp not kicks up, that notch, it's gonna be on. It's gonna be like, all right, come in here, get your week worth of conditioning, and you better be ready to run these installs, right? It's no more learning
Right.
installs. They did all that. Like this is now,
Mm-hmm.
it's 11 on 11s. It's
Time to
the cream of the
practice.
crop. Yeah. It's like, can they make the cut? Because Mike, trimming this roster down to 53 men is going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult because there's too many young knives. Like, which
I
which
think
which which one you
I
want
think
to
some
go with?
veterans in trouble. I think some vets in trouble, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. I think some
Okay.
vets in trouble. I
All
think
right.
some of y'all favorite. I'm not gonna say favorite because I don't think any of us are super happy with the defensive side of the ball, right? But I think some of y'all, some of the damn, what's the phrase I want to use, right? Like some of the other pieces we invested in might be moving on for some of these young blood, for some young blood. Oh, let me ask you this before we go. I think Darren Waller was acquired for like a 6th round pick, right?
Yeah.
You think the Niners should have offered that?
Nah. That dude too wish washy, man. I'm good on him, bro. I'm good
I
on him.
love Darren Waller, bro.
Couldn't find ways to stay healthy. You did bringing in
True.
that. I
and it,
mean,
and it, and he's quit before. He is quit on it on like hey, look, man, I'm just not in it. I'm not playing. He's done
yeah.
that before too.
Let him go quit in 49ers
You think he'd do that next
Southeast.
to George Kittle though?
You never know, man. He might not get the ball enough, or might not.
And what about the Minka and Ramsey? Like, were you interested in either one of those? Like, people talk about the
Well,
Niners needed
first
a
of all, I didn't
safety.
know. I mean, they should have been interested in Minka, but that was too rich for the Niners' blood. But they definitely should have went out and got Ramsey. I
Well,
just
what was too rich? Hold on now. It was player for player in a
yeah, but
a
what player
fourth.
you giving up, Mike?
I'm asking you. I'm asking you what you mean by
I'm
too
just saying
rich.
that's rich, right? So you gave up. Don't. It's not just the player, right? It's the contract of the player. You look at this contract.
Who gave up the draft pick in that trade?
Um,
Did this
Miami, right? Because they no the
Miami sent Ramsey and the pick for Fitzpatrick?
no Miami sent Ramsey and the tight end, and
Oh, Jonnu Smith.
the
That's right.
Steelers gave up the pick.
So the
And
Steelers gave up
yeah,
Fitzpatrick in the
so
pick.
they got two All Pros for one All Pro.
Jonnu Smith ain't no. He is not an All Pro.
He did make an All Pro as a tight end,
No,
didn't he?
he didn't.
Oh,
No,
okay, okay.
did he? I'm.
I thought he did. I thought he was an All Pro tight end. Maybe he wasn't.
Is Jonnu Smith a All Pro tight end?
But he had a hell of a season. I tell you
There
that.
are two notable NFL tight ends named John Smith, L.J. Smith, and Jonnu Smith. L.J. Smith was a tight
Jonnu
end
Smith
who
was
played
named
for
to
the
the Pro
Philadelphia
Bowl
Eagles and
in
Baltimore Ravens,
2024,
but
but
was
did
not
not
an
make the Pro
All-Pro.
Bowl. Listen,
Jonnu Smith was named to the Pro Bowl in 2024,
So
but
he
has
traded
not
a
been an
Pro Bowler
All-Pro.
and an All Pro for an All Pro.
okay. Okay. All right. So then never mind then. I'll give you that. That was good though. That was good. I didn't even know he was a Pro Bowl. I ain't gonna hold you. I haven't watched a Pro Bowl in 3 years, bro. I
Yeah,
don't
but he
even know
had a,
when
he
it
had a
is.
phenomenal season because if you play fantasy football, he was the hot commodity off the waiver wire.
But it's weird because I associate him with the Falcons. He's not a Falcon.
Nah, he was a Dolphin. He was a free agent. First, he was a Patriot, right? So like he was a
He was a
Patriot.
Patriot first.
Yeah, or Falcon for Falcon Patriots Dolphins. I think that's the order.
Wow.
He's been around. He's been around.
Mm.
But like I said, like I thought they would have brought in Ramsey. Because I like our secondary, but man, you get a guy like Ramsey and
Where you
Lenore.
putting him? Where you putting Ramsey?
Ramsey, he started outside. You put him on an island. Now you got two guys out there on the island. You're not putting all the pressure on your young kid and Renardo Green. Because you know how it can be, man. These young kids get out there and they make that mistake, and some of them can recover. For example, Diamador Lenore, but there was nobody for Diamador Lenore to take his spot. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he was battling Ambry Thomas, bro.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No,
Ambry Thomas has some good games, bro. I
just,
hate the way people talk about Ambry Thomas.
I'm not. Listen, first of all, you missing my point. My point is he didn't. He wasn't battling an All Pro for their position. It was two rookies that were battling for that position. And they were remember, I could go back to Diamador Lenore's rookie year and show you when he got burnt.
Yeah, but he shook that shit off, and that's what I kept trying to tell people about other players.
He shook it off compared to Ambry Thomas, who could not get out of his head, which is weird because I wonder if that's a Michigan thing because Ambry Thomas can't get out of his head, and now Jake Moody can't get out of his own head. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is. Listen, I don't want to take up no more of your time, y'all. We supposed to be 30 minutes. We gave y'all an extra 12 minutes or so. So I want to thank everybody for checking this out, man. This will be coming out on the regular YouTube page probably at midnight. I think I'm going to release this at midnight on a regular YouTube page. But right now, this is a Patreon exclusive. Everything that I'm bringing to you guys this week will be exclusively on Patreon. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Okay, it's patreon.com/NB9ERS. So make sure you guys get there. Wayne, is there anything you want to plug or promote before we get out of here, man?
Man, just follow me at Breezy Eats, EATZ, Breezy Eats, baby.
All right, yeah, y'all make sure y'all do that. All right, we're gonna talk to y'all soon, man. No team is safe when the Niners are on the prowl. I'm Mike, that's Wayne, and this is No Harm, No Foul. Peace.